Welcome to Baseball Biz On Deck. I'm Mark Carpet, your host, and with me today, I have the guy who knows everything when it comes to the Orioles, Mr. Full Count Chaos himself, Mr. Nate Andrews. Hey, Nate, how's it going today, buddy?
I'm good. How are you? Geez, you put me on the spot here. I got to match up to what you just said. I'm doing all right. How are you? How's everything going?
I am doing well, my friend. Looking at what we got 2/3 of the season gone, about that anyway, and oh, gosh, about 100 games, only about 59, 62, wherever you're having to sit with your team. And it has been exciting. Been a roller coaster ride for a lot of folks. But the one thing you and I were talking earlier this year about is we had high expectations for the Orioles, and they're certainly living up to that.
Well, yeah, it's about time, I guess you could say, right? But yeah, it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. And that last series, obviously you're Rays fantasy, you're representing the Rays, got the Tampa Bay hat on. I love it. That was a heavyweight fight this past weekend. That was wild. But yeah, if you're an Orioles fan, or not even an Orioles fan, just seeing what they're doing, it's definitely exciting, especially knowing also that, shouldn't just be this 1 year or next year. Hopefully Orioles fans are going to see this for the next, 5, 7, 8 years coming up.
Well, you and I talked, like I said, even last year, the one word a lot of owners and managers say over and over again is rebuild, rebuild, rebuild. And I think that's obviously a done deal now because the team that you have is young, it's strong, it's consistent, and it takes a while to get there.
Yeah, it does. And it's so funny with the rebuild. I'm on the fence pertaining to, I know some people say it's bad for baseball and other fans say, well, you got to do what you got to do if you want to run a business and be successful. So, that's a whole different rabbit hole we can go down. But yes, what Elias has done, look at him now. And he even said this earlier this season. He said, or right before the season started, he goes, rebuild's over. We're all in it now. So hearing that coming up to the deadline of trades, it's getting very interesting to say, okay, you're saying you're all in. What are we doing here? What are you going to do? And, it's just everything talking about the Orioles right now is exciting. Talking about it's fun, man. It's a fun time.
And it should be. I mean, you guys are now leading the American League. You got 62 wins and 38 loss record. The only team in the American League right now above 600 with a 620 win record. And let's see. Yeah. Only second across both leagues, following the Atlanta Braves, who are just amazing. And they're enjoying a 64 win, 34 loss record. So they only got 2 more wins.
Yeah, the Braves they're having fun.
Oh, yeah.
They're having fun this season. But I know it's funny, looking in the other divisions, you just kind of roll your eyes because everybody in the East, it's a winning record. I mean, you got the Yankees and the Red Sox, which is ironic. They're the bottom, tied for the bottom in the East. But the East is a beast, man. It's might as well just start the playoffs now and let the East play each other and go from there. But the division, looking at all the other teams, is just it's pretty silly.
Oh, I get that.
The Orioles and the Rays and the Jays and everybody's doing.
Well, and Nate, if you look at the standings and you pull up American League, you're going to see almost 1 through 10 you're going to see the American League East and then Central. Now that's just eliminating, not even talking about what goes on the West, but it's like you can count 1 through 10 as you're scrolling down the page of those teams. So yeah, we get, I think, still the top 5, and then descent from there. But my gosh, man, the AL beast. I want to ask you about negotiating the way through this mess. Brandon Hyde, how long has he been with you guys now? 5, 6 years?
Yeah, I'd say it's about 5 years. See, he came in, I think, 2018, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, but then I tell you, I'm just glad that the Orioles have been hanging on to him. He deserves it. Yeah, I got to give hats off to him what he's doing. I mean, again, like I said last time you and I spoke, they gave him the keys to a Toyota Camry and said win the NASCAR or just steer the car in the race. Stay in your lane and just hold off as long as you can. But seeing what he's done now, I mean, before the season started, yeah, the Orioles, were they going to be doing well this season? Yes, we had high hopes. We didn't know they were going to do this well. We thought 2024 was going to be what we're seeing now. So what Brandon Hyde is doing with the Orioles right now, hats off to him. I don't know how much longer the Orioles are going to hang on with him. I know they're going to give him some opportunity to shine and show that he can hang. I don't know how long the leash is, but hats off to Brandon Hyde, man. That guy is just doing one hell of a job right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I know historically I worked down at the museum here in Tampa, and a lot of times we feature Al Lopez, who was with the White Sox and also with the Pirates, but in the Indians as a manager. And one of the things they're asking, this is all pre-DH, and they said, what's the most difficult part of your job? He says, well, it's managing 25 personalities and trying to bring it all together. And I love that. I said, man, that is it. That's critically what a manager does.
I like that. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. And I know, it's got to be fun for Brandon Hyde to manage the Orioles right now because they're a great team, and it's not like example because anyway I can throw the Yankees under the bus. I will. I mean, the egos in that clubhouse. I don't even know how they all fit in the clubhouse with the size of the egos. But Brandon Hyde must be having fun with the Orioles because these are young kids. They're all having fun. They're playing like a family. They haven't gotten to the point yet. I don't know, 3 or 4 years. Some of these players, they might be, big time showboats and stuff like that. But for right now, they're just, the Eagles aren't that big yet. They're all just these young kids having fun, trying to win some baseball. So it's got to be fun for Hyde. He doesn't have to play, I don't know what I'm looking for, to try to balance out all those egos in the clubhouse. So it's got to be fun to be managing a team like the Orioles, the way that they're doing what they're doing right now with the players they have, if that makes sense what I'm saying.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely. And I mean, the thing of it is, was it last year, 2022, Baseball America, in their rankings, they had him as manager of the year.
Yeah.
And I don't see why MLB would not have him necessarily as the AL manager of the year, by the conclusion of this season. So,
you never know. But if he didn't get it, I'd be surprised. But yeah, I mean, come on. If he did get it, it's well deserved. Hats off to him. Absolutely.
Okay. Looking at the team, it's amazing. Let's kind of go down the roster for a bit, see who's who here. Hang on, brother. Let me bring that up. Looking across who the Braves are today, Braves. Looking at, I am telling you, brother, it's been a week.
It's been a week, my man.
Looking at the Orioles, who they are today. I mean, it's outstanding. Adley Rutschman, Ryan Mountcastle, Adam Frasier, Mateo, Henderson, Hayes, Mullins, Santander, O'Hearn. You go continue down. Urias, Hicks, McCann, Westberg. Oh, good Lord.
Unfortunately, all those guys are hurt. I don't know if you heard.
Lord, who is on the injured list right now?
You got Mullins right now, day to day. So then they brought in Aaron Hicks. I'm sure you remember him from the Yankees.
Oh, yeah.
Real quick story. When the Orioles went back to the Yankee Stadium about a week ago, I don't know if you saw this. That just goes again how much of a dirtbag Yankees organization, whatever, and their fans and stuff. They did a little tribute to Aaron Hicks of a video for like, hey, welcome back, Aaron. Thanks for everything you did for the Orioles. I think it was like a 30-second video. The entire video, all 40,000 Yankee fans were just booing to the top of their lungs. It's just amazing. So they had the camera on Aaron Hicks while the video was going, and you could see him. He's embarrassed. He's just kind of laughing. At first he was waving everyone, but then he realized, oh, wait a minute, these are boos. So he just kind of.
Hey, it's Yankees. Come on. What are you going to, Yankee fans?
I know, man. So they brought Aaron Hicks on. Aaron just got hurt last night.
No.
Yeah. So I have a feeling. So then, of course, everyone's going on Twitter. We should get this person, that person. I have a feeling there's a gentleman by the name of Heston Kjerstad who should have already been up with the Orioles, but he had heart problems right after they drafted him. So it kind of held him back for a little bit, but I have a feeling he's going to be the guy to come up center field, well deserved. The guy's just been killing it. Drafted number 1 2020. So I think we're going to see him. So it's almost like every time someone goes down, it's like, oh, no problem. We have the other superstar here who's ready to go. Mateo, you mentioned, boy, he was one of the best American League players in the month of April. Right now, he's one of the worst baseball players in baseball pertaining to offense. But it's okay. It's like how stacked they are. Next man up, So, yeah, this it's just going to start getting crowded here in the next season or two with all these young guys, superstar. I don't know what it's going to be interesting how they're going to juggle this and what they're going to do. Because, my God, they're stacked right now. And in the next few years, it's going to be pretty wild.
Let me ask you something. I saw that Ryan O'Hearn has probably one of the better batting averages, but he's the DH. So he's the limited number of games I saw that he's been in this year. Is that just because they don't need him all the time, or how does that go?
I don't know. Mountcastle's back now. Mountcastle was injured, and O'Hearn stepped up, and O'Hearn was just killing it. We're like, oh my, this is going to be interesting. Like when Mountcastle comes back, when he came back last week, he's been okay. He hit a home run last night, but I don't know. Hyde is very by the book. He loves his lefty righty matchups. But we were talking about this the other day about Ryan O'Hearn not playing as much as he probably should. But with Mountcastle going down, this is what I mean. It's like next man up for the Orioles. I know it's easier said than done, but that's what's been happening this season with the Orioles. It's insane. It's like someone goes down, next man up, they turn into a superstar. I mean, it's contagious. I've always said winning and losing is contagious. Obviously, it's not like I just said some deep thing there, but Ryan O'Hearn, going back to him, he's just killing it right now. I think he's got an average of like 311, and
wow.
He's just, his OPS is like 900 right now. But now Mountcastle's back, and now here's Hyde trying to juggle a couple, all-stars, which is not a bad problem. But yeah, Ryan O'Hearn, man, he has been just a shining star this past month while Mountcastle has been down, and it's impressive to see what he's been doing. I mean, it seems like every time lately in the past week or two in the 8th or 9th inning, we need a big hit. Ryan O'Hearn's the guy to do it. So that's what I mean. You just keep naming these guys on the roster, and I can give an example of how they've just been clutch. It's insane this season. It really is. Sometimes you got to step back and you just kind of shake your head and laugh like, what is going on here?
I got to tell you, being on the receiving end of some of the pain that you guys deliver, it's, as being part of Baseball Biz on Deck, I got to try to be where I don't follow the laundry,
Sure.
but
Sure.
And it was exciting to watch the Orioles because they were not going to let the Rays get a leg up. And it seemed like it didn't necessarily have to be in the later innings, but they were always there. I had Matt Germain on here on a show we did recently we talked about the Rays, and he said, Mark, he says, all I can see is that there was like a sudden lack of cohesion. And I thought that sounds true. And I say that because looking at the Orioles, I definitely see a cohesion. I definitely see a team that wants it. I definitely see a team that's working together to get there. And as you pointed, one guy goes down, another one comes up.
Yeah, and I tell you, it's funny. I've never had much beef towards the Rays, but I think the Orioles past couple of years, we were like 1-18 at one point against the Rays. Like we would be beating you guys 6-0, 7th inning, and you guys would win 8-6. I mean, it just seemed like it happened all the time.
Yeah.
So it's a compliment towards the Rays to show how far and good the Orioles are, because when they can do what they did against the Rays, it was a heavyweight match and they went toe to toe. We didn't knock you guys out of the water and you guys didn't knock us out. It's just impressive to judge the Orioles against what they did to the Rays to show how good the Orioles are, because the Rays are a damn good team. So that was one hell of a series this past weekend against the Rays. And it just happened to be, you called us while we were hot. I think we see you guys What, late
September.
September? Yeah.
Yeah, I've got tickets to fly up there. I haven't bought my tickets for the game yet, so I'm looking forward to possibly coming up. Maybe you can get a chance to see you if you're around. It's
sure.
it's gonna be fun. I mean, I'm looking here now. We talked a little bit about the lineup. You got a strong lineup, and like you said, one guy goes down, another one comes up. What about trades? Do you see any trades coming or anything going on with you guys?
Well, I don't know if you saw the fun. Oh, who is it? What's his name? The Orioles always get on him when he tweets out, because he's the one who says rebuilding's terrible for baseball. Why in the world can I not think of his name? But anyway, he put out a tweet last Buster Olney. No, Buster. Is it Buster Olney?
There is a Buster Olney out there. I'm familiar with the tweet.
Anyway, moving on. There's a tweet out there showing that the Orioles and the Diamondbacks are in conversations right now with getting Ohtani. So I would be, if I was a betting man, and I'm not, I just don't see right now where the Orioles are. I look, if they got Ohtani, oh my God, that'd be insane. But I just don't see. I don't see John Angelos would absorb the remaining. I think it's $10 million. And even if they had a package, and I know the Orioles are stacked right now, and they could get away with getting a guy like Ohtani. I don't think they would get him just to rent. But so speaking of trade to start with, that's been fun to see. The Orioles right now really need a bullpen. And I tweeted out yesterday, it is absolutely amazing what the Orioles have been doing with the terrible bullpen that they have right now. I mean, they're terrible. I think the Orioles would be probably undefeated if it wasn't for the bullpen. I mean, obviously kidding, but there's been so many blown saves. The starters, there should have been so many more wins they've had. So the bullpen arm, the Orioles need one or two. And I think the rumor is the White Sox. There's a reliever, I think Kendall Graveman. I think they're on the Angels, like Carlos Estevez. Pertaining to starters, I would love to see like a Marcus Stroman or Blake Snell, which is so funny to hear that the Padres might be selling, because you look at their roster, you're like, how do they have a losing record right now? But pretty sure, I think they do have a losing record, right?
Yeah, I mean, I know they're not leading their division, that much is true, but
no.
I mean, Juan Soto, who's Josh Hader, Seth Lugo, was he with them too? And
yeah, they're just, I mean, and look, any team that has Juan Soto on it, for God's sakes. But yeah, so, and then you got the Orioles, as funny as it sounds, we're sitting here talking about how they're stacked in their lineup. They still don't have that. They just don't have that one big, strong, solid bat, like right now, like a Cody Bellinger or Ohtani. So I don't know if, but I think probably if they're going to do anything, they're going to probably get another arm or two in the bullpen. I would be surprised if they do something with starter and the offense, but Grayson Rodriguez, I'm sure you've heard that name. He's a big star for the Orioles pitcher. He went down for a little bit, but he came up. His last outing, he looked like that pitcher that the Orioles fans and the Orioles were hoping for. He's 99 on the corner. So yeah, pertaining to trades, I think they'll be looking at bullpen arms is my guess if I'm a betting man. Yep.
Yeah, because when you're mentioning the pitching, and I look here and I say, okay, Kyle Bradish, he does what he does fairly well.
He does fairly well.
And I look at Kyle Gibson getting better. And then I look at then I look at Dean Kramer and I go, okay.
Yeah. Dean Kramer pitched a hell of a game against the Phillies last night. And of course, hey, look what happened. The bullpen comes in and let up a couple of runs. It's just been like that every night. So it's amazing where they are because of the bullpen. So now, again, Elias did make a move. What's his name? Oh, my goodness. Shintaro Fujinami.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty sure I pronounced that. He came from the A's. He was a starter, didn't do well. They put him in the bullpen. When they put him in the bullpen for the A's, he was killing it, just plowing him down. Throws 102. Has a nasty splitter. Unfortunately, the guy doesn't know where the strike zone is. He still thinks it's 8 feet high. So if he can get his, he came out the other night, looked pretty good. His first pitch for the Orioles, I'm not kidding, very first pitch against you guys in the Rays, you guys hit a home run off him. That was his first pitch for the Orioles. in the in that Rays series. I don't know if you saw that, but
Oh yeah, what did he do? Like 2 walks that same inning? I can't remember.
yeah, that's what I mean. And then the next outing, he looked pretty good with that forkball. So it's like each time he's starting to get, and he did make a joke before he came to the Orioles. They said, "What's ask him some question like, well, what are you most concerned about?" He's like, "I'm concerned that I'm going to be nervous. I'm actually going to be playing in front of fans."
Oh,
yeah. So I was like, okay, I like this guy already. He's got a good sense of humor. But yeah, if he can get his arm together and they can get 1 or 2 more arms in the bullpen that are solid. Other than that, if the pitching continues the way that they are, it's just a different beast once you get to October. You can't really have the conversation like, well, hopefully the starters just get by, because they're not going to just get by, against the teams they're going to see in October. So I don't know, Mark. Elias and the boys, they have some decisions to make here. Do you go all in, or do you just kind of go with what you have and get a couple more pieces and go from there? I don't know. When you're one of the best teams in baseball, what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, do you stand by what you've got and you see this is working and it's great? Or do I go out and spend a whole hell lot more and get somebody like Ohtani for a short term and say, well, that'll get me to the World Series?
Yeah,
but, I mean,
I know it's interesting. It's going to be what is it? What is it? 25th, July 25th? Is it July 31st or August 1st?
August 1st.
August deadline. 1st. Yeah. So I don't know, man. Next 5 days. Hopefully they don't do anything. Well, I'm just curious because we're talking about the Rays here. Any rumors of what you guys are going to be doing?
Eric Neander, he never lets anybody know anything till the last minute. So I always wait to August 1st before I really start looking, to be quite honest. No,
I just want to put it out there on your podcast real quick because it's funny. I've had a lot of fans write in 50-50, but I always say you guys and we. I'm the type of fan that feel we put our blood, sweat, money. We're huge fans. So when I say Orioles, I'm the kind of guy that says we. And when I'm saying Tampa, I say, a lot of people, you're not on their team. I don't care. The energy, the money, the like I said, blood, sweat, and tears that we give this team. We're all a big family. So, and I'm sure if you talk to the Orioles organization, they'll say we're all part of this. So anyway, I'm just throwing that out there. Anyway.
Well, no, I like that. The ones I'm always concerned about are the ones who say we until the losing streak starts, and it's they. Well, the Orioles instead of my team, my guys. I'm watching. I got to watch a lot of the Rays fans right now because it was real easy to say my Rays or our team, 3 weeks ago, and it's a lot more difficult to say that for some folks.
You should see. I don't know if you're familiar, Ocean City, Maryland. It's a beach a couple hours from where I am. We like to go down. About 3 or 4 years ago, I wear my Orioles gear and people kind of make comments like, "Oh, so sorry to see that." And we went down last year or earlier this year. Oh my God, every restaurant where we have the Orioles game here and people driving down Coastal Highway with their Orioles flags waving around. It's just so funny how quick that wagon fills up. But you're exactly right, man. It's silly.
Well, you guys had a voice at the Trop, man. When you were there for this 4-game series.
Yeah, that was interesting. I saw my wife and I were watching it, and I didn't know, if that was some. I don't know. I don't know if that was a coincidence. I mean, it looked like it was just a huge pack that filled up the stadium. I was impressed with that. But yeah, that was, and especially when you're loud in that stadium, boy, does it echo.
Oh yeah, it does, brother.
You can hear everything.
And you got your spring training facility just down the road, about an hour and a half, at Smith Stadium. And I know, again, me working in the museum, some people are coming in during that week, and I would always say, "Where y'all from?" "Oh, Sarasota." "Oh, Baltimore." "Oh," So a lot of folks were coming down here for part of that. There are so many transplants in Florida that they already come down here with their team in their heart, and they're not going to transplant a heart for Tampa. But man, it was exciting. It was a great series to watch. Like I said, I hate to see my team, my Rays, take it on the chin.
Every single game. I mean, and it's funny, ironic. The games that the Orioles won, it was I think each game was one run, maybe 2. But then of course the Rays, when you guys beat, I mean, your pitching is just ridiculous. Who is that reliever you guys have? Oh, the name's on the tip of my tongue.
Pete
I swear he's
Fairbanks.
throwing a wiffle ball. He's a right-hander. When he throws that slider, it starts about 8 feet out from the plate, and just swoops in. I mean, Ben McDonald, who calls the Oriole games, used to be a pitcher for the Orioles back in the day. He was just laughing like a kid. Like, how do you throw a hard ball like that? And I can't remember his name right now. And I'm sorry I'm bringing him up that I can't remember his name. But yeah, the Rays bullpen, you guys, it's just silly to watch. Because if you're losing against the Rays and their bullpen comes in, I'm turning it off and I'm going to mow the lawn.
Well, they've had their ups and downs, but the killer we've always had bringing the assassin in the ninth inning has been Pete Fairbanks, and he's that tall, thin. I think he's right-hander, and he's a tall, thin guy, and he's got a glint in his eye, man. If I was at the plate, I would not want to see him there. It just
he's definitely a good guy to have on the team. The East is a beast. I mean, we're going to see you guys September, and probably if whatever happens, how it happens in October. It all depends on when you get hot and when you're not. You know what I mean?
Well, you don't get to win as many games as the Orioles have by just being hot here or there. I mean, you guys,
that's a good point. Right?
Yeah. And let's see. So, what's your all schedule look like here in the next several games? You got Marlins, Yankees. I think
we got the Phillies, we got the Yankees, we got the Blue Jays. We just swept the Marlins. So it's like after the second half, the first 6 games, we're playing every team with a above 500 record. We've got the Red Sox coming up. Like I said, Blue Jays. But then after that, things kind of settled down a little bit. I got to say that the Orioles might be I don't want to jinx it, but they got coming up the Mets. Then they're playing the Rockies. Then they're who's the other team they're playing? They got the White Sox coming up. So yeah, they have a good chance coming up in the next couple weeks after this week, after they play the Yankees and the Phillies, but they could make a dent just playing with these under 500 teams. So the second half, this was the toughest, like playing the Marlins, playing the Rays, playing the Phillies. You're like, God damn, like right off the bat, they sweep the Marlins, they take 3 or 4 from the Rays, and they just beat the Phillies last night. So it's like, holy hell, this is, you're right. It's not about being hot anymore. It's like, this is happening.
That's right, brother.
It's happening.
That's right. Yeah, and I'm looking forward. I'm going to go down and see a Marlins game sometime here within the next couple of months too. And
I've always wanted to head down there and see a Marlins game. Just obviously, I'm from Maryland, so anytime I get a chance to go down to Miami, I'm going to take advantage of it. But yeah, I've known a couple of people who've gone down there to see it, and they had a lot of fun. So
it should be neat. I'm looking forward. I mean, and they've had some ups and downs. Jazz Chisholm's kind of up and down, but I was watching closely Luis Urias because he was batting right around 400 for quite a while there, and I think you and some other guys may have slowed him down a little bit. But
I don't know if there's such thing as slowing him up. My God, he was definitely a guy. When he would come off the bat, even I would stop what I would be doing and being like, all right, well, let's get entertained. Let's see what's about to happen here.
Oh.
But yeah, it's a fun time. If you're a fan of a team that's in the East, it's going to be interesting here coming up in the next couple months. Because, I mean, look at the bottom 2 teams. What are they? They're 53 wins. It's the Red Sox and Yankees. They're only, 8 games behind. I mean, it's insane. The East is just ridiculous right now. So the Rays and Orioles right now are the guys who are leading the troops.
Well, take me back to Baltimore and Camden Yards. How's everything going as far as a contract being signed between the city and them?
Oh, God, man. I tell you, I get why Baltimore fans are nervous. John Angelos continues to say over and over and over and over, the Orioles are not going anywhere. If he said it once, like a year and a half ago, and he hasn't said anything since, I'd be like, oh, no. But every week, as much as I am not a fan of John Angelos at all, he's just a complete, I'm sorry to say this, dirtbag. I know he tunes into your show, so I apologize about that. But John Angelos, I'm not a fan of, but he has said over and over and over, the Orioles aren't going anywhere, but they still have not signed a lease with Camden Yards. It's still just hanging out there, which makes us a little nervous. So I don't know what's going on, Mark. In the beginning of the year, February, March, May, there's conversation. What are we going in August? I don't know, man. He keeps talking about, well, yeah, don't worry about that. We're really focused on the areas around Camden Yards. We want to somehow get the community involved. Whatever that means, but I don't know, Mark. I just hope they're not, next year. Let's hear for the Oakland Orioles,
Geez. Well, Nate, I got to be honest with you, brother. When it comes to owners, anything that comes out of their mouth, I don't trust anything. As you know, we've been through so many iterations of what the Rays and where they're going to be at. It looks like crazy, whether it be a sister city, whether it's going to move back over to Tampa, whether it's going to be right next door to where they're at now. And people come in and say, Mark, so where's your team at? I said, dude, I have no freaking
I was going to ask you. I had that on my question list because, look, I'm not trying to be insulting here or anything, but I know with the Rays, they don't exactly always sell the house out. It's not always. So the question is always, I remember my wife was watching it. She's like, man, the Rays are the best team. Like, how come they're not filling the stadium? And I said, I don't know. They've always been that way down there. So I've always been curious. Obviously, you follow the Rays more than I do. I mean, is there any conversation of fans getting nervous seeing that over the years or what? I think you just answered the question a minute ago. You don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. But, I look at what's happening with Oakland, and I'm saying I don't trust any owners, virtually.
Yeah.
I mean, and what they're going to do with the team. Well, let's stop for just a second. Kind of go off way out in the left field. Dusty Baker.
Okay.
I think it was when he won the World Series.
Yeah.
And they had not renewed his freaking contract. It was sitting there. They had not said, hey, Dusty, would you like to sign and be with us yet another year? That's right. Like, get the heck out of here. A little respect, people. You can't respect a guy who does that. You're not going to respect your fans.
It's a great example. I know. So you're right. Even when the owners say, don't worry, the Orioles aren't going anywhere. Yeah, it gives you a little feeling in the pit of your stomach. Yeah.
I think you're all going to be fine, to be quite honest with you. There's just too much support from the fans there, from the city. I don't think they'd allow him to do it. I think they'd tie him to the masthead of a ship and go out to sea if he chose not to do it.
And I agree too. And I try to say a lot to fans and even on the show. I don't think they would have hired and put the time and energy in hiring Elias to come in to do what he did. But sometimes even when I say that out loud, it's like, well, even then. But I don't know. I think you're right, Mark. I got to tell you, I think the Orioles are going to be right where they are. I don't think there's anything to worry about. But at the same time, every now and then you get a little nervous.
Oh, yeah. Well, Nate, Mr. Full Count Chaos, I want to thank you again for being here today. And tell folks a little bit more about Full Count Chaos so I'll make sure they understand.
Sure, I appreciate it. Yeah, just talk about Orioles and any craziness out there in the world of baseball. Sometimes I get off track and I don't even talk about baseball. Something just nutty that comes up in the world of chaos. But yeah, fullcountchaos.com. Obviously, you can, any way you listen to your podcast, it'll be there. Twitter at fullcountchaos. But yeah, I actually, I think that was the last time I was on the show with you. I was talking about your show and how much fun I had. And someone did reach out to me and said, that guy's a lot of fun to listen to. So, hopefully your show, I'm sure, podcast is still successful because you have a great show as well on your end. But yeah, man, Full Count Chaos, all about the Orioles. And, it's just going to look, the better the Orioles do, the better the podcast does. Let's be real. You know what I mean? So not only I root for the Orioles to do well, but helps my podcast out as well.
All right. Well, folks, if you get a chance, and you definitely should take it to listen to Full Count Chaos, because Nate will share his opinions quite vividly. Probably he's doing the G version for us today, or PG version.
I have bit my tongue about 6 or 7 times on here. So
Nate, I can't thank you enough, buddy. It's great having you on here, and I wish you and the Orioles all the best, my friend.
Thank you. You too, brother. All right. Mark. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks once again for joining us here today on Baseball Biz On Deck. Remember, you can find us at www.baseballbizondeck.com, or you can find us on Twitter at @TheBaseballBiz. Once again, thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to talking with you all again real soon. Special thanks to XTakeRUX for the music rocking forward.